right, welcome back. It's time for us to get into our DIY self-improvement segment. But before we do that, we have messages that you sent in. We want to read some of those messages. And I just want to say this. That song by
AC.
AC is beautiful.
It's uplifting.
Yeah.
The modulation.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. The modulation always creates tension in music.
And then it touches you deep in your soul.
So Samuela, who's our director, who's watching right now, I'm just singing this to you that let it go, let it all go, yeah. Yeah, whatever's happened, just let it go.
Love it. But we have a message coming in here from Kafui. Happy birthday to my senior-most brother, Mr. Wilson Wallace of GTP, the grandpa of the house. I pray God blesses and protects you and the family always. Once again, this is coming in from Kafui. And then someone says, good morning, watching live from Nkwanta, Oti region. My name is Masaudu Hamza Jr. Capello, a.k.a. IMF official.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you from Nkwanta, all the way to Nkwanta. Thank you for watching Breakfast Daily.
Yes, and we have one final one. This is from Richard Bright Ado of TV3. He says, happy birthday to you, Mamle Amenya from Ibri. God bless you more. Enjoy your new age. Happy birthday to you, Mamle.
All right. Yeah. Well, time is a very precious commodity. How are you using your time? Time can be used to literally change people's lives. And we've been joined on the set this morning by Hannah Abrahams, and she's going to get us into understanding the value of time and how to use time to your advantage so that your life a year from now can look very, very different depending on how you use the time. She is a pastor, she's a counselor, she's an author, she's quite a lot of things.
She's everything. She's everything.
Yeah.
She's everything.
Yeah. And she's here with us.
Bonjour, ma sœur.
Bonjour. Comment allez-vous?
Bien, merci.
At this point, this is when I leave the show. Bonjour.
She's also a lecturer. She lectures in French, translates. I just wanted to put that out there. How's your French boyfriend?
He's doing well. Greetings to him. I hope he's watching. I know he is. Pastor Eric Abrahams-Appiah, God bless you.
Yes. I love how she calls her husband her boyfriend.
Her boyfriend. Just keep it fresh.
Yeah. Good morning. So, are we making the most of our time? That's the question that you have put to us. And we have in turn put it to our viewers this morning. But let's start from the very beginning. We think of time, I think we take it for granted a lot of the time, But why is time so precious? Why is it so precious?
Okay. Time is so precious. The more I study about time, the more I get scared about time. Time is a non-renewable resource. I'm going to talk about time in terms of resources. When we talk of resources, natural resources, we know that. Renewable, non-renewable resources, it's easy. So we are beginning from the known to the unknown. When you look at time as a resource, as an asset, a material that can be used or drawn from for effective work, productivity, it becomes a different thing for you. Many people don't understand what time is. They see it as one of those things, I slept, I woke up, and there's a day and there's a night. But every day, God gives us 86,400 seconds. And if you know the value of a second, to those who just finished in Birmingham, 100-meter race or a 400-meter race.
The value of a second.
That value of a second makes a difference between a gold medal, bronze,
and no medal.
And no medal, and money, and opportunities.
Even those of us in media and TV, every second counts. You're getting the countdown. It's in seconds.
So now, what is time to you? That's the first thing. When you don't see time as a resource, you don't value it as such. And then when you understand time as a resource, next thing is, how do you value it? What's the worth? How much value do you put on an hour? Or 10,000 hours, or 2 hours. So if somebody gives you 30 minutes of his or her time, depending on how much that person values the time. I was researching and I discovered that somebody earns $1.5 million per speech. And I'm like, some of us have been talking for years.
You're joking.
How much? And that was Trump. I was surprised. In 2002, you have the list where Robert Kiyosaki, you have Joel Austin, you have Robin Sharma, as those who speak and are earning so much. That's the value of their time. So if such a person gives you 10 minutes, that's so much time. Now, come to us, the average person on the street or those listening. Many of us don't value time. We waste the day on things that really are not productive. One resource everybody has in the same measure is time. The baby, the rich, the poor, the educated and uneducated, we all have 24 hours. By the end of the day, some get more than others. Reason, some sell their time and others buy other people's time. So you get a company owner who decides that I want 800 hours to be used in 24 hours. So he buys 100 people's 8 hours. And he can sit by the beach whilst those 100 people are working for him. So he has earned his 24 hours plus 800 extra hours. And you are having now 24 minus 8 hours. You've given it out and exchanged it for $100 worth a month. That's the value of your time. Now he can produce more in that time, and then he can now be wealthier, he can impact more, and then he can also be healthier because remember, he's taking care of his health. So I've talked about wealth, I've talked about impact, I've talked about health. So your understanding of time, your value of time, and your ability to convert time, that's one important point for me. Many people don't convert time to anything. Let's go to the Bible. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. We read that, and that's the beginning of time. Then we go to Genesis 1:5. Then God made light and said, and called it day. Then he made the darkness and called it night. So it was their first day. Then you go to Genesis 2:2, and then on the seventh day, he rested. God himself is giving us an account of how he used a week, his time. How many of us can give an account of that value that God gives to us called time, that resource? And remember, we didn't come with it, and we are not going to go with it. But one day we are going to account for it. So many people don't understand time, don't value time, and don't convert time. We are still benefiting from day and night. That is what somebody converted time into. Question, what have I converted my time into? What have you, the listener, converted your time into? Some convert it into degrees, a skill, learning. Some convert it into what you call a talent. Those who are doing sports. Some convert it into writing. For those of us who are authors, time is very important. Some convert it into companies, into business, into makeup artists. So ability to convert time into what you need is so, so important.
Oh, wow.
So talking about the fact that time is finite and it's a limited resource, what is it that people, how should people shape their minds to better make use of whatever they have available to them in terms of the 24 hours?
Okay, so to start, it's important to do an inventory. How have you been using time over a certain period? So look at your past week or past month. How have I been using my time? What have I been doing? And then group your activities into productive activities and non-productive activities.
Okay.
Identify the wastages. Identify the productive things that you have done. And now have a plan going forward. Have a planner. In the next 1 week, I want to achieve A, B, C, D. Now have a plan, put timelines to it, put rooms, breather. You don't have 8 to 10, yes, 10 to 12, no. Put in breaks, rest breaks, contingencies that can come about. And then once you have a planner, then now you work on it as a routine, intentionally. And then you have timelines, very important. So within this week, I must have achieved this. Once you're able to do that, at the end of the week, accountability. Be accountable to yourself first and to God, then to any other person. That way you are maximizing the time.
That's very interesting. So there are some people who feel that they're doing things currently and they're making the most of their time. They feel like 24 hours is not even enough. but what they are doing is just one job. It's just using one skill. Meanwhile, they have many. You know, how can people like that take what they have now and sort of still do other things and get more from the 24 hours that they say is not even enough?
Okay. So it all comes back to the way you have understood time and the way you have used time. Let me take an example of a hairdresser. She has clients who come in and she knows the time when her work peaks. You pass by shops and you find out they are sleeping. They are watching television for hours, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. They are idling. Yet it's good to watch television if the program is development or it's in line with what you want to do, maybe makeup, hair. But if it has nothing to do with your need, remember you are converting time to what you need. If it has nothing to do with your need, shift that time into other things that you can do. So instead of spending 4 hours sleeping or waiting for a next client to come, use those 4 hours maybe on YouTube to watch how to become a better hairdresser, how to become an excellent makeup artist, or completely deviate from even the norm. You can do hair. What about fashion? Have you thought of braiding? Have you thought of makeup, shoes or beadwork? And then you are adding to it. It has the same skill can be applied to students in the tertiary institution. I tell students jokingly, if you spend 4 years in the university and all you get is 1 degree, you've wasted your time. Reason, I have a brother who went to the university and he finished his degree plus his professional certificate at the same time. So he left university with 2 degrees.
He didn't necessarily need the first degree to do the professional certificate, so he was doing them side by side.
He did them side by side. So he had the same time the other students did. What was the difference?
Yeah, he came out with 2.
He maximized his time, and that's where many people miss it. You are a security, you are a receptionist. You could be using that extra
to
hours
learn something, to
read
something.
a book, write short stories, do a blog. But most of you realize people while away the time. So identify where you are losing time and then
Here's a very important,
trap it.
very interesting question. Now, it's a difficult question for me, but I'm interested to see how you answer this one. It's coming from JC in Pantan West. Says, please, how do you deal with a boss who virtually has no regard for time management, but you have to be by his side all the time?
Beautiful question. You have a boss who wants you to be by his side all the time. He has no value for time. What about you? What is the value you place on your time? Remember, you have sold your time to him, so he's your boss. He's bought your time, actually. So for that 8 hours or for that
Your
10
time
hours,
is his.
You have to
your
do
time
what
is
you have
his.
to do what he
So
tells
as
you
much
to do.
as he may be overusing your time, it's because you don't know what to do with your time. And he now has the resources to buy your time. So those 8 hours actually are no longer yours, but they are his.
Wow.
That is a powerful way of looking at it. So that means that a lot of us actually need to sit down and do some introspection. If we feel that there are things we need, but we need to use our time to acquire those things, or we need to convert our time to those needs, then we need to reconsider what we are doing with our time now, or whom we've sold our time to.
Very important. And it, in addition, sometimes you see, you may have sold your time not just for money, but for expertise, for skill acquisition, for networking. So don't always look at it in terms of legal tender. I mean, you are developing a skill, you are getting networks, and you are getting platforms. So those ones, you can't really put money to it.
Fantastic. How do people get in touch with you? All of this rich
It's
knowledge and
like a crash course in
My
10
name
minutes.
is Hannah Abrahams-Appiah. You can find me on all the social media networks. I'm on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel where I teach young people on self-development. So you can just follow Hannah Abrahams-Appiah. My number is 054-706-4982.
Please, the number one more time.
054-706-4982.
Yes.
all right. Thank you very much.
Thank
Hannah,
you.
for
Thank
doing
you
this
so
with
much
me.
for having me.
Merci beaucoup.
Please maximize your time. De rien.